Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is from Pontiac, where the Oakland County prosecutor is recommending authorities drop a murder conviction against a man who's serving a life sentence for a fire that killed 5 children. And that story tops our news here at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evrod Cassimy. Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald says Jawan Deering did not receive a fair trial. Her office reviewed his case at the request of the Michigan Innocence Clinic, who has been seeking a new trial for him. A special investigator's report revealed evidence wasn't given to the defense lawyers during the trial. That includes a video interview with a child that survived the fire who said Deering did not commit the arson. Here's what McDonald said just a little while ago.
As prosecutors, we have an ethical obligation to turn over all the evidence, regardless of whether it's exculpatory or inculpatory. We have to do the right thing, even if it hurts our case. That didn't happen here. There was critical information that was not turned over to the defense, and the jury never heard.
McDonald's office also found that Deering's attorney was not told that 3 informants got substantial benefits from helping police at the trial. McDonald says she'll join a request by Deering's attorneys to have the murder conviction set aside. Also breaking at this noon hour, Michigan MSTEP scores have been released, and they show that students lag in nearly every grade and category. The state tests were taken in the spring of this year, and reading scores fell for nearly every grade except for 8th and 11th grade. And in math, scores fell for every grade level. The results mean that it's very likely that more students fell behind during the pandemic than if they were in a pre-pandemic school year. And let's turn our attention now to the coronavirus. As cases continue to rise, the U.S. State Department has raised its travel advisory alert for Canada to a level 4 do not travel status. You're looking live through our winter sky cam showing the Ambassador Bridge to Canada. Let's check in with our Priya Mann. She joins us now live. Of course, a lot of people are wondering what this means, and you have more on the change in status. Break this all down for us, Priya.
Yeah, that's right, Evrod. You know, if you were planning a quick trip to Canada, now that some border restrictions have eased, you better think again. The pandemic leading to another first between the U.S. and Canada. Today, the U.S. State Department has raised its travel advisory alert for Canada to a level 3 reconsider travel status amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Now, earlier this month on August 10th, Canada was listed at a level 2 travel advisory, which is considered exercise increased caution. Now, this comes as the CDC also issued a level 3 travel health notice due to the pandemic, indicating a high level of spread of COVID-19 in Canada. And of course, reminding folks that your risk of contracting COVID-19 and developing severe symptoms may be lower if you're fully vaccinated with an FDA authorized vaccine. Now, the State Department move comes the same week that the Department of Homeland Security announced that the U.S.-Canada land border would be closed to non-essential travel for a 14th consecutive month. So here's the bottom line. The travel advisory has now been raised. The State Department is urging Americans to reconsider traveling to the country. And as a reminder, if you are traveling to Canada, you will have to show proof that you're fully vaccinated, as well as other documentation. Reporting live at the border today, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4 News Today.
All right, Priya, thank you so much for the explanation there. After 2 decades, the United States has completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan, ending America's longest war. You are looking at an image of the last U.S. soldier to leave Afghanistan. Let's check in with Richard Engel. He has this report.
20 years of war now come down to just 2 iconic photographs. One of the last American C-17s taking U.S. troops on the lonely trip out of Afghanistan. And this photo released by the military of the last soldier to leave. The Taliban rolled into Kabul airport, taking over the final piece of Afghanistan to be held by foreign troops. The Pentagon says it made weapons and military equipment inoperable before American troops left. But they didn't destroy the airport, so the Taliban-run government can use it. The U.S. needs the airport too. It will be one of the only ways out for Americans and vulnerable Afghans left behind by the evacuation.
If an American in Afghanistan tells us that they want to stay for now, and then in a week or a month or a year, they reach out and say, I've changed my mind, we will help them leave.
The Taliban said today marks a new beginning, and it does. It's also a repeat of the past. The Soviet Union occupied Afghanistan for 10 years in the 1980s, until they left, bruised and humbled, beaten by a small band of Islamic fighters backed by the CIA. Fighting in Afghanistan then against the Soviets was a man named Osama bin Laden. and he was inspired by the Russians' defeat. If guerrilla fighters could topple the mighty Soviet Union, why not the United States? The world saw the results. Now it's the United States being driven out of Afghanistan by a group of Islamic fighters. Bin Laden is dead, but a new generation of extremists may be learning the same lesson today from the land often called the graveyard of empires.
And there are not only American citizens still in Afghanistan, there are also interpreters who worked with American forces and other vulnerable Afghans. And there are efforts underway by private individuals, veterans, to reach out to their friends, their former colleagues in Afghanistan, to try and keep them safe, to try and keep them hidden and sheltered until they can get the right documents and potentially evacuated out of the country. Richard Engel, NBC News, Doha.
New at noon, the family of Huntington Woods native Danny Fenster speaks out on the 100th day of his imprisonment in Myanmar. Fenster was detained by military in the country back on May 24th. The Myanmar regime claims Fenster spread false news and caused fear to a group of citizens as editor of the magazine Frontier Myanmar. The family says that they would love to have Danny home for the Jewish New Year.
Being together, talking about the year, talking about things that have come and gone or personal stuff, and just starting a new year. Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement, we could all do better as humans. That kind of stuff. The meaning of the holidays and being together. Family. Family is so important to all of us, including Danny. So it's just another way to all be together.
So far, no charges have been brought against Fenster. He's due back in court next week. Michigan Avenue in Van Buren Township is back open after a deadly crash. Sky 4 was over the scene this morning in between Denton and Beck Roads. It appears that at least 3 cars were involved in this crash, and we're told that 1 person died from their injuries. Police are still investigating. All right, let's switch gears and get you updated on the forecast as we give you a live look through one of our sky cams here across Metro Detroit. A beautiful morning so far, Brandon, and a beautiful afternoon to come.
Yes, and as advertised, the humidity stripped away. We still get a little cloud cover out there as we look live in Mount Clemens. Similar view that we're seeing just about everywhere, but we're in the middle 70s. This is the good stuff with east, northeast, and northwest winds keeping slightly cooler air coming in. We've got a little cloud cover from that northwest and northeast wind and from Ida down to our south. Going to keep the rain away, but we'll talk about crazy comfortable temperatures continuing. Humidity gone for how long, and holiday weekend rain chances, Evrod, coming up.
All righty, Brandon, we'll check in with you shortly. Still to come, Ida is over, but the recovery has just started. So we're going to take you to Louisiana and see what's happening there after the break.